there, this is Deanne, and in this video I'm going to be taking you guys on a short tour of about a 5-6 minute tour of Canvas. So let's start by logging out, just so you're familiar with how that works. I'm going to log out. I'm going to log back in using my PPS credentials, and we're going to talk a little bit about how Canvas is organized. So here on the far right, you see what's called the global navigation. It's always visible to you in Canvas, no matter where you are in Canvas. The middle section is, in this case, the dashboard. In a course, it'll be the course. And I have my published and unpublished courses. And then on the far right, I have my right panel. The right panel will change depending on where you are and who you are in Canvas. So students will see something slightly different, and you will see something slightly different in the right panel. There's a lot of action types of things that happen in the right panel. So once I'm going to go ahead here and look at my dashboard again, you'll notice that I have my tiles, and if I click on the trickle dots here on the far right, top right, the trickle dots give me dashboard view options. I'm going to take a look at the list view here, and all prior assignments, etc., are already here. When I'm in this list view, I have the ability to see my grades. I can also see recent activity and missing activity. I can also give myself or write a quick note to myself, and it'll put it on the calendar. And then if I have a whole lot of things here, I can click on today, and it'll bring me right back to today's assignments. I can also look at the recent view activity. That's one of my options for my dashboard. So I can see announcements and other kinds of messaging in my inbox, assignment notifications, etc. in this view. My preferred view is to go back to the tile view. So in this tile view, you'll notice that I can have what's called a color overlay. That's actually the default. I usually take that off because I prefer to see it without the color overlay. And the other thing that I can do in my dashboard is I can move the tiles. So as I move them, the order doesn't matter, depends on how I want to view. Maybe it's first period, second period, third period. I can also go to any of those assignments, any of those tiles, sorry, and click on those trickle dots, and I can change the color. I can also remove any of the tiles from my dashboard. So I'm going to go back to the trickle dots here, click on move, and if I click on unfavorite, there at the bottom, it will actually remove it from the dashboard. It doesn't change the fact that that course is assigned to me. It just means it's not going to show up on the dashboard. So sometimes that happens to students. They didn't mean to do that and their course disappears. It just means they clicked on unfavorite and they just need to find it. So let's look at the global navigation, and we're going to take a tour of that particular item, the global nav. So here, when I click on accounts, I'm going to see things that have to do with my notifications, my settings, etc. We'll do that in part A. You'll have you won't see admin. That's specific to my role in Canvas as a Canvas admin, but you're going to have the dashboard. So what's cool about this is no matter where you are in Canvas, you can click on dashboard. It'll bring you right back here. It's kind of like home base. If I click on courses, you'll see my courses that I'm currently enrolled in and any unpublished courses that I maybe can't see yet, as well as if I click on all courses, I can see any of the courses that I've ever been in or ever taught. And again, this is where I can find a course, and if I click on the star, when it's clicked, that means it will show up on the dashboard. If it's unclicked, it will not show up on the dashboard. All right. I'm going to click on calendar, and here is a pretty powerful place in Canvas, especially for students, to be able to find out what they need to get done. The colors here match the dashboard. It is a toggle on, toggle off. If they click on any of the assignments, they can see which course that calendar item belongs to. So in this case, it's my sandbox. Like I said, it is a toggle on, toggle off. So notice here on the 7th and the 14th, when I unclick the Dion PBH at pps.net, which is my personal calendar, it's always the first calendar. When I click on it, all of those assignments will disappear. So like I said, it is a toggle on, toggle off. All right. Now let's go ahead and go to our inbox. This is a very streamlined inbox. It does not have fancy type or things like that on it, but it is very functional, and it's a functional way for students to quickly contact their teacher. And for you, just know that when you do get an email from a student that's been sent through the inbox, Canvas inbox, it'll actually show up in your PPS email, and you can respond to it without ever coming to Canvas if you wish. We're going to look at Commons in just a minute, but before we get there, let's look at help. And in the help, there's a couple of things to notice. One of the things to notice is that the Virtual Scholars Canvas is slightly different. Students can jump to the other Canvas very, very quickly. When they click there, if they're already logged into the PPS Canvas, they will log right into the Virtual Scholars. And the similar setup is over in the Virtual Scholars Canvas as well. The kids can bounce back and forth between the two. I also want to draw your attention to several supports from Canvas, and one of them is the Chat with Canvas support, and that is your ability to talk to Canvas support line at any time, 24/7, any day, except for probably vacation days such as Thanksgiving and Christmas and New Year's. But they're available all the time and are very helpful. There's also a really good training service portal that has videos and webinars and other asynchronous courses that you might really like. Now let's go back to the Commons. The Commons is a huge database of courses for you to be able to use in Canvas. So if you find something in the Commons, they're all free. And yes, I can bring that into one of my courses. Now, let's take a look at courses. So I'm going to go into one of my courses here. And you'll notice right in the middle here, instead of a dashboard, I have content. On the far left, I have my global nav, or global navigation. And on my far right, I have what's called, again, my right panel. And in this case, the panel has changed, and it gives me the option to look at my course just the way a student would do it by clicking here on Student View. You'll notice that there's a pink bar around it that just tells me that I'm looking at the course from the perspective of the student. So I'm going to come back to my view. And let's notice something here at the very top. So at the top in my browser here, or the browser URL, I have a course, lms.pps.net/courses/ and there's a number. If you want help from Canvas or somebody else like me or somebody in IT to help you with a course, give us this URL, the whole thing, and we'll be able to help you a lot faster because that will take us right to your course. Now let's look at the course navigation. Notice that the real estate for my course content is a little bit narrow. So if I want a little bit more real estate, I'm going to click here on the hamburger and my course navigation buttons disappear. All right. You'll also notice that on the course navigation, there are some parts there, we'll go over them later, that have a little eyeball with a slash. That just means it's not viewable to the student. We're going to look at the content itself. And notice that in each of the modules here, I have goals and observations. I can collapse them or open them, expand them. I can also publish and unpublish them. So you'll notice that the little check mark, the green check mark means it's published, which means it's visible to the student, and they are toggle on, toggle off items. So again, if I click on them on and off, they are visible or not visible to students. Notice on the course status that I have either published or unpublished the entire course. So here I am going to publish it again. And that just means that if the student's dashboard is, if students say, hey, I can't see my course, it just means it hasn't been published. You just come in here and quickly click on publish. All right, that should do it for our tour. We'll look at most of these items in more detail during our course A, B, and C. I hope this was helpful and see you in the course.